Congo River, formerly Zaire River, river 100 kilometers, it is the continent's second longest river, after the Nile. It rises in the highlands of northeastern Zambia between Lakes Tanganyika and Nyasa, Malawi, as the Chambeshi River at an elevation of 5,760 feet, 1,760 meters, above sea level and at a distance of about 430 miles, 700 kilometers, from the Indian Ocean. Its course then takes the form of a giant counterclockwise arc, flowing to the northwest, west, and southwest before draining into the Atlantic Ocean at Banane, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Its drainage basin, covering an area of 1,335,000 square miles, 3,457,000 square km, takes in almost the entire territory of that country, as well as most of the Republic of the Congo, the Central African Republic, eastern Zambia, and northern Angola and parts of Cameroon and Tanzania. With its many tributaries, the Congo forms the continent's largest network of navigable waterways. Navigability, however, is limited by an insurmountable obstacle, a series of 32 cataracts over the river's lower course, including the famous Inga Falls. These cataracts render the Congo unavigable between the seaport of Matadi, at the head of the Congo estuary, and Malbo Pool, a lake-like expansion of the river. It was on opposite banks of Malbo Pool, which represents the point of departure of inland navigation, that the capitals of the former states of the French Congo and the Belgian Congo were founded. On the left bank Kinshasa, formerly Leopoldville, now the capital of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and on the right bank Brazzaville, now the capital of the Republic of the Congo. The Amazon and the Congo are the two great rivers of the world that flow out of equatorial zones where heavy rainfall occurs throughout almost all of the year. Upstream from Malbo Pool, the Congo Basin receives an average of about 60 inches, 1,500 millimeters, of rain a year, of which more than one-fourth is discharged into the Atlantic. The drainage basin of the Congo is, however, only about half the size of that of the Amazon, and the Congo's rate of flow 1,450,000 cubic feet, 41,000 cubic meters, per second at its mouth is considerably less than the Amazon's flow of more than 6,180,000 cubic feet, 175,000 cubic meters, per second. While the Chambeshi River, as the remotest source, may form the Congo's original mainstream in terms of the river's length, it is another tributary, the Lualaba, which rises near Musofi in southeastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, that carries the greatest quantity of water and thus may be considered as forming the Congo's original mainstream in terms of water volume. When the river first became known to Europeans at the end of the 15th century, they called it the Zaire, a corruption of a word that is variously given as Enzari, Enzali, Engeli, Enzadi, and Niadai, and that simply means river in local African languages. It was only in the early years of the 18th century that the river was first called the Rio Congo, a name taken from the Kingdom of Congo that had been situated along the lower course of the river. During the period 1971–97, when the Democratic Republic of the Congo was called Zaire, the government also renamed the river the Zaire. Even during that time, however, the river continued to be known throughout the world as the Congo. To the literary-minded, the river is evocative of the famous 1902 short story Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. His book conjured up an atmosphere of foreboding, treachery, greed, and exploitation. Today, however, the Congo appears as the key to the economic development of the Central African interior. The expression Congo Basin, strictly speaking, refers to the hydrographic basin. This is not only vast but is also covered with a dense and ramified network of tributaries, sub-tributaries, and small rivers with the exception of the sandy plateaus in the southwest. The Congo Basin is the most clearly distinguished of the various geographic depressions situated between the Sahara to the north, the Atlantic Ocean to the south and west, and the region of the East African lakes to the east. In this basin, a fan-shaped web of tributaries flows downward along concentric slopes that range from 900 to 1,500 feet, 275 to 460 meters, in elevation and that enclose a central depression. The basin itself stretches for more than 1,200 miles, 1,900 kilometers, from north to south, from the Congo Lake Chad watershed to the interior plateaus of Angola, and also measures about 1,200 miles from the Atlantic in the west to the Nile-Congo watershed in the east. The central part of the Congo Basin, often called the cuvette, literally saucer or shallow bowl, is an immense depression containing quaternary alluvial deposits that rest on thick sediments of continental origin, consisting principally of sands and sandstones. These underlying sediments form outcrops in valley floors at the eastern edge of the cuvette. The filling of the cuvette, however, began much earlier. Boreholes have revealed that since late Precambrian times, i.e., since at least 570 million years ago, considerable sediment has accumulated, derived from the erosion of formations situated around the periphery of the cuvette. The arrangement of surface relief, thick depositional strata, and substratum in amphitheater-like fashion around the main Congo Channel, which has been uniform across time, is evidence of a persistent tendency to subsidence in this part of the continent. This subsidence is accompanied by uplifting on the edges of the cuvette, principally on its eastern side, which has also been influenced by the formation of the Western Rift Valley. From its sources to its mouth, the Congo River system has three contrasting sections: the Upper Congo, Middle Congo, and Lower Congo. The upper reaches are characterized by three features: confluences, lakes, and waterfalls or rapids. To begin with, several streams of approximately equal size unite to form the river. In a little more than 60 miles, 100 kilometers, the upper Lualaba joins the Louvois and then the Lukyaga. Each stream for part of its course undergoes at least a lacustrine type of expansion, even when it does not form a lake. Thus, Lake Upemba occurs on the upper Lualaba, Lakes Bangweulu and Mweru occur on the Chambeshi Luapula system, and Lake Tanganyika, which is fed by the Ruzizi, flowing from Lake Kivu, and by the Malagara Sea, itself flows into the Lukyaga. Rapids occur not only along the head streams but also in several places along the course of the main stream. Navigation thus is possible only along sections of the Upper Congo by vessels of low tonnage. Even so, these stretches are in danger of being overgrown by aquatic vegetation, particularly water hyacinths. Kisangani, formerly Stanleyville, located just downstream of the Boyoma Falls, a series of 7 cataracts marks the real beginning, upriver, of the navigable Congo. This central part of the river flows steadily for more than 1,000 miles, 1,600 kilometers, to within 22 miles, 35 kilometers, of Kinshasa. Its course at first is narrow but soon grows wider, after which many islands occur in midstream. This change in the character of the river corresponds to its entry into its alluvial plain. From that point onward, with the exception of a few rare narrow sections, the Congo divides into several arms, separated by strings of islands. It increases from a width of more than 3.5 miles, 5.5 kilometers, downstream from Isangi, where the Lomami enters the Congo, to a width of 5 to 7 miles, 8 to 11 kilometers, and on occasion, for example, at the mouth of the Mongala to 8 miles, 13 kilometers. Beyond the natural levees, formed by silt deposits, occurring on either bank, some areas are subjected to extensive flooding that increases the river's bounds still further. It is not always easy to distinguish such areas from the rain swamps in regions lying between rivers. The middle course of the Congo ends in a narrow section called the channel, or couloir, corridor. Between banks no more than half a mile to a mile wide, the riverbed deepens and the current becomes rapid, flowing through a valley that cuts down several hundreds of yards deep into the soft sandstone bedrock of the Bate Plateau. Along this central reach the Congo receives its principal tributaries, primarily the Ubangi and the Sunga on the right bank and the Kwa on the left bank. An enormous increase in the average rate of flow results, rising from less than 250,000 cubic feet, 7,000 cubic meters, a second at Kisangani to nearly its maximum flow at Kinshasa. Upon leaving the Schnell, the Congo divides into two branches, forming Malbo Pool, a vast lacustrine area about 15 by 17 miles, 24 by 27 kilometers, which marks the end of the Middle Congo. Immediately downstream occur the first waterfalls of the final section of the river's course. Cataracts and rapids are grouped into two series, separated by a fairly calm central reach, in which the elevation drops from a little less than 900 feet, 275 meters, to a few yards above sea level. The Congo's estuary begins at Matadi, downstream from the rapids that close off the interior Congo, 83 miles, 134 kilometers, in length. It forms the border between Angola and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. At first the estuary is narrow, less than half a mile to about a mile and a half in width, with a central channel 65 to 80 feet, 20 to 24 meters, deep, but it widens downstream of Boma. There the river, obstructed by islands, divides into several arms, and in some places the depth does not exceed 20 to 25 feet, 6 to 7.5 meters, which makes dredging necessary to allow ocean-going vessels to reach Matadi. Beyond the estuary's mouth, the course of the Congo continues offshore as a deep underwater canyon that extends for a distance of about 125 miles, 200 kilometers.